22-year-old Tom Cole was hired as a ring boy for the World Wrestling Federation when he was 13 years old. For the next 3 years, he says he was sexually abused by his supervisor, Mel Phillips, who Cole says has a foot fetish. And Cole says there were other abusers besides Phillips.
I was grabbed on numerous occasions in my testicles, on my buttocks by Pat Patterson of the World Wrestling Federation, and Terry Garvin propositioned me when I was 16, offered me cocaine and all kinds of drugs to have sex with him. When I refused, I was let go from the company when I was 16, and then I returned again when I was 19. I was let go again because I refused Terry Garvin's advances.
So Cole hired a lawyer and ended up with a $55,000 settlement to cover lost wages. As for Mel Phillips, he was fired from the company. But Cole's family says firing Phillips wasn't enough, and they were at the Stamford headquarters today demanding justice.
I would like to see Mel Phillips put behind bars where the hell he belongs. Because he's a child molester, the man. It's enough for him just to step down from his job. He's walking the streets, he's molesting children. The man should be put in jail.
World Wrestling Federation President Linda McMahon says an outside investigator concluded there was no evidence of Phillips molesting employees, but the company fired him anyway.
At first he was put on suspension pending investigation. The investigation was taking so long, there was so much negative happening with it that we finally told Mel that it was better for him and better for our company for him to go on in a different way.
McMahon doesn't deny Phillips had a foot fetish, but she said it had become a joke and was blown out of proportion.
If you call a man filming your feet for hours at a time and playing with your feet and making you cry when you're only 13 years old and recording it for his own sexual purposes, if she calls that normal, then obviously there's something wrong with her also.
McMahon says she took a personal interest in Cole and tried to send him to counseling, encouraged him to get his high school equivalency, and finally offered to put him through Westchester Community College with a promise to come back and work for the company if he passed all his courses. She says she was greatly disappointed when he did none of the above.
We took an opportunity to help a young man who, for whatever reason, seemed confused, he seemed troubled, and wanted to have an opportunity in life, and we felt that we could help him.
Cole says McMahon's efforts were not out of personal interest, but for personal gain. That's an issue the courts will have to decide. In Stamford, Allison King, News 12.
Residents